Small children should not listen to this story at all, because if they hear this story, they can get very scared. If you want to feel this story, then you have to watch the whole video. In a small town, there lived a woman named Bindia. She was married, but she had no children. She had miscarriages 3 times. She was desperate to have a child, but every time her lap remained empty. Bindia tried many ways to have a child. Despite this, the courtyard of her house was empty of the children's laughter. Bindia's husband was a laborer, and he loved his wife very much. He too wanted a child of his own, but without the will of God, his dream could not be fulfilled. Bindia becomes pregnant again for the 4th time. This time, both of them take care of the child in the womb with great hope. Bindia's husband brings her lots of food and drinks and says that this time you will have to provide complete nutrition to your child, for which you will have to eat and drink properly and also take care of yourself. Bindia nods her head after listening to her husband. Actually, she is broken from inside. She has lost all her hopes of getting a child, but seeing her husband's confidence, she gathers courage and decides that this time she will definitely become a mother. As the night falls, Bindia starts having pain in her stomach. Suddenly, Bindia's husband wakes up and he encourages Bindia by lying her in his lap. But when the pain becomes unbearable, he carries his wife on his back and runs to the hospital. On the way, Bindia faints. Bindia's husband lays her down on the ground and starts shouting loudly for help. Just then, a devil comes out from the nearby.
He has a glass of water in his hand. As soon as he comes, he sprinkles water on Bindia's face. Bindia slowly opens her eyes, then Bindia's labor pains start increasing. Bindia's husband holds her tightly and starts encouraging her. The chandal from the crematorium takes out ashes from his clothes and applies it on Bindia's stomach, which soothes Bindia's pain, and in a few moments, a child is born. But when the child does not react for a long time, Bindia starts crying because this was Bindia's 4th child, who left her as soon as it was born. Bindia's husband becomes sad due to the child's death, but he does not express his grief in front of his wife. Then his eyes fall on the chandal. The chandal is reciting some mantra with folded hands, closed eyes. Suddenly Bindia's child's eyes open and he starts crying loudly. On hearing the child's cry, Bindia and her husband hug their child and start kissing him. After many years, they were blessed with a child. Both of them thanked the chandal of the crematorium and fell at his feet to greet him. The chandal returns to the crematorium without saying anything. Bindia's husband returns home with his wife and child. Both of them are very happy with their child. One night, when Bindia wakes up, she sees that her child is walking in the room, but he is only 2 months old. Bindia wonders how such a small child can walk. She wakes up her husband, but he does not wake up as he is in deep sleep. Bindia, scared, takes her child in her lap and lays him on the bed, but fear has already struck her mind. As soon as it is morning, she tells her husband about the night. Bindia's husband does not believe her. He thinks that Bindia must have seen a dream, and extraordinary. Is he possessed by some ghost? But the chandal already knew everything. He says, "Your child died as soon as it was born, but seeing your suffering, I made a ghost enter the body of your dead child, due to which he is alive. But that ghost can stay in the body of that child only till one new moon night, and after that your child will stop breathing." After listening to Chandal, he asks him the solution to this problem. The Chandal tells him, "This is just the beginning of your troubles. If that child stays in your house, then every day there will be a dance of death in your house, because this is a ghost child. But if the child's mother does ghostly sadhana with that child all night in the crematorium, then your lives can be saved." Bindia's husband reaches home and explains everything to his wife, but she does not want to be separated from her child. She says, "As long as my child is with me, I cannot intentionally separate him from me, even if it takes my life." Bindia's husband had an idea that he has raised a big problem. He decides in his mind that when Bindia falls asleep, he will separate her child from her. Bindia's husband starts waiting for the night. As soon as Bindia falls asleep, he reaches the crematorium with the child and goes to the Chandal and says, "Baba, you only take care of this problem. Just save us." On seeing the child, the Chandal scolds him and says, You have arranged for my death along with yours by bringing him without his mother." As soon as the Chandal says this, the child's eyes turn red and he stands on the ground. The Chandal gets hypnotized by the child and falls unconscious in a pit dug in the crematorium. Bindiya's husband gets scared on seeing the Chandal's plight and starts running away from there. But an invisible force catches him by the legs and throws him on the ground several times, due to which he becomes bloodied, and the child throws him in the same pit in which the Chandal is already lying. As soon as both of them go into the pit, strong winds start blowing in the crematorium, and the soil starts flying into the same pit, and in no time, both of them get buried alive. On the other side, as soon as Bindiya wakes up from her sleep, her child is lying beside her and smiling, but there is no trace of Bindiya's husband. She keeps waiting for him all night, and with this, the first part of the story ends. Subscribe us to watch the second part.